Hey guys, this is Goku, and on this channel we talk about poker and ideas that can improve your life. If you're interested in that, go ahead and click the subscribe button because I'll be honored to have you here. Today we're gonna play another GTO trainer session. This is a series where we play 25 hands of a particular GTO spot. Today we're playing MP2 Open versus Button Call, and as you can see, this is a tournament spot on 50 big blind stacks where a middle position player open raises to 2.5 BBs and the button calls. We are the middle position player, so let's jump right into it. We've got ace jack off on a queen deuce deuce. We're gonna bet a third of the pot. As we can see, this is the ideal action, played 60% of the time, nearly, and we have a four of hearts falling on the turn. I think this four of hearts actually doesn't change much. We could continue betting, and I'm pretty sure that the solver also does this with a fair bit of frequency, but I'm gonna check here. Probably checking should be the ideal action, and it is. As we can see, the solver actually checks here 89% of the time, so it doesn't do that much betting, but we have a 10 of clubs falling on the river. And I think we're gonna check call this here. Maybe this is a good spot to donk bet and bet a quarter of the pot here, but I'm gonna see the check. And actually, no, this should be a check 99.9% of the time. The villain bets half pot, and obviously with our hand we are calling because we have ace jack off. And this is not so obvious actually, because the solver folds 88% of the time here. As we can see, the EV loss is very small. It's pretty much a zero EV decision, but surprisingly the solver only calls here 1% of the time, so it prefers re-raising this bet, and it does it like 10% of the time, but mostly the solver folds here, which is very interesting. Nonetheless, we lose to a pair of tens. Let's go to the next one. We've got ace 8-10 suited on an 8 deuce king. I think we're gonna bet a third of the pot here. The solver does this 88% of the time, so all good here. Queen of hearts on the turn. Think we check here. The solver does so as well, and now that the villain overbets the pot, and I think we folded. Surprisingly, the solver only folds here 45% of the time, which is quite weird for this overbet. I wonder if he calls the remainder or reshoves. But let's go to the next one. 7-8 of clubs on an ace jack 10. We're check folding here. Yeah, actually, the solver also likes betting a third of the pot 55% of the time. But we checked, the villain bets, now we fold. Queen 9 suited on a 10 king king flop. We're betting 2.5. The solver agrees. We get called. We hit our straight. And now I think... are we checking it here? Or are we betting 2/3 of the pot? I think I'm gonna try and check, because our checks are way off. Oh, this is actually a spot where we should bet a third of the pot with a good frequency. And this is what I need to learn. Yeah, this type of spot, I need to learn betting a third of the pot and checking. Because I can see that the solver usually has this kind of strategy on such a board with a hand like we have. But nonetheless, we checked, the villain bets, we obviously call. Yeah, the solver doesn't do much raising here. But now there's another king on the river, and I think we need to bet here. I guess we need to shove it. I don't think there's much other options. Yeah, I guess it's either shove or check. I'm gonna shove. No, the solver actually prefers betting a quarter of the pot here. So donk betting 98% of the time. It doesn't do a lot of shoving, just 0.5% of the time. And as we can see, this is quite an EV loss, minus 1.26. So yeah, this is a spot that we're not playing the best here. Let's go to the next one. Ace 10 off on a king 5 jack. We're obviously continue betting 2.5 here. We get called. We hit our ace. I think we check here. 36% of the time. Okay. Villain checks as well. We have a 3 of hearts on the river, and we're going to bet two-thirds of the pot. And the solver actually likes donk betting here the most. Betting 2/3 is 16% of the strategy. We got raised, which is quite interesting. But I think we call this, right? Or do we fold? Yeah, I think we gotta call this here. But we also probably fold sometime. Yeah, we can see actually raising all in is the ideal action, but just 8.5% of the strategy. Calling is 63% of the strategy, pretty much zero EV loss. And I assume folding is another, what, 30% almost? Yeah, but we unfortunately lose to a king jack. Played quite interestingly, I would say. Let's go to the next one. Jack queen off on a 7-10-6. We're going to check it. Yeah, and we're going to call it. Well, actually, the solver only calls it 4.6% of the time, which is weird. I wonder if it folds. Probably it folds quite a lot here. Let's check. And now we have to fold. Yep. Pocket threes on a king, king 5. This is a bet 2.5. We get called. 9 of hearts on the turn. We're going to check now. The villain checks behind. And we have a 4 of spades on the river. And is this a donk bet spot? It is not, but it is checking almost always, 0.3% of the time. Donk betting, which has a very small EV loss, but nonetheless we get called by 6s and we lose. Ace king off on a 3-5-8. This is a check spot, I think, yeah. And check call. We hit our king and we're going to check again. Villain checks behind. There's a 10 of diamonds on the river. And I think we're going to check for the 3rd time. Or should we bet here? Maybe maybe this is a donk bet spot. Let's see. Nope. Should be a check 80% of the time. A 6% donk bet. Okay, good. Pocket 8s on 8-6-4. I think this is Is this bet 5.5? Check is better, played 50% of the time. Bet 5.5 is 11% of the strategy, so I guess the rest is betting a third of the pot, so almost 40%. Queen jack off on a king 8-5 is a bet 2.5. We called, we hit our jack, so we're gonna check now. Continuing betting is also fine, played 42% of the time. There's another 8 on the river, and I think we are going to check it here. Again, we should bet 2/3 of the pot and with 92% frequency, so quite often. Checking is just 5% of the strategy. But of course we are checking with the intention of calling, so we're calling the villain's bet of over 80% of the pot, and as we can see, the villain actually has the king. Ace king off on a 7-4-9 is a check. Villain checks as well. 10 of hearts on the turn. We're going to donk bet it. Checking is also fine, played 87% of the time. A deuce on the river doesn't change much, but we're gonna donk bet again, which we shouldn't really do, I think. Yeah, we should just check fold it here, but oh well. Pocket sixes on 4-7-8. This is a bet 2.5 or a check. We get called. 3 of clubs, of spades on the turn. We're going to check. Villain checks behind, and another 4. This time a 4 of clubs on the river. And we are probably checking. I wanna try and donk bet, but maybe this is not a good spot for that. Yeah, checking is the most frequent play, the most frequent play, but I wonder if the solver donk bets here often. 8-10 of hearts on a trace 6 king is a bet 2.5. Villain folds. Now we have ace-9 suited on 3-7 deuce. We are probably checking here with the intention of check raising, but just calling is the ideal action, played 87% of the time. Check raising is an unusual play, well, maybe not unusual, but more uncommon. There's a 7 of hearts on the turn, and we are going to check it here. Yeah, the villain bets 9. Now, do we call this or do we raise this? I think we just call here. Yep. We hit our flush on the river, but the board also pairs again. And I think is this a spot where we donk bet? Or do we just shove it here? Or do we check to induce a bluff? Think I'm gonna donk bet it. Nah, should be a check. 98% of the time. Donk betting is small EV loss, but yeah, it's the rest of the strategy, but you know, 1.4% play. And we're calling obviously here because we are pot committed. And yeah, we should never fold this here. Maybe like 0.1% of the time. And we win versus total bluff. Cool. Pocket fours on 10, 5, 7. Think this is bet 5.5. Nope, should be a check. Or bet a third of the pot. 8, 10 of hearts on a king, jack 4. This is bet 2.5. We get called. Another king on the turn. I think we're checking. Our hand is too bad to continue. And we're folding. Yep. Pocket deuces on 9, 8, 10 is a check. Oh, this is a bet 5.5 spot. I see. And we're folding. Or we can actually raise it here, probably. Is a good play from time to time. With our hand. Queen jack on a 10, 8, 4 is a bet 2.5. We get called. We hit a king. Obviously we continue betting. 2/3 this time. The solver likes this line. Let's see what the villain does. The villain calls. We hit our jack on the turn, on the river. And I think we are checking here. I don't think this is a donk bet spot. Well, let's see. It is a donk bet spot. Oh well. Oh well. Nonetheless, we checked and now the villain shoves all in. And I think we have no option but to call. Our hand is too strong to fold. Yeah. We won't know, unfortunately, what the result of this decision would be because the solver didn't calculate it since it is donk betting 99.77% of the time here. So yeah, we need to really learn and memorize the donk betting spots. This is one of them for sure. All right, let's go to the next one. King jack off on a queen tray. We're gonna bet 2.5. Betting 5.5 here is also fine. Deuce of clubs on the turn. We're gonna check. Oh, over betting is good here with our hand, which is quite interesting. 5 of hearts on the river. Yeah, since we've been checking the whole time, I don't think there's any merit in trying to win this spot now. Yeah, we probably wouldn't get him off an ace high with one bet on the river on a low card. 9-7 suited on a 10 and 9 ace is the bet 2.5. Should be a check mostly. Do we call the re-raise now? I think we can, but perhaps it's better to fold. Oh, actually it is, EV wise, it is fine to fold, but the solver only does it less than 1% of the time. It calls 99% of the time. Quite interesting. Ace-6 suited on an 8 deuce queen, bet 2.5. Checking is much better with our hand here. Okay, good to know. We're checking now on the 6 of diamonds. We're not gonna know what happens, unfortunately. Another diamond on the river. We're gonna overbet the pot. And we get called by pocket tens, but this doesn't count. So, queen jack off on a trade jack 6 is a bet 2.5. We get called. 4 of diamonds on the turn. We continue betting. Well, actually it's better to check it here. Makes sense to protect our checking range on such a dry board. 8-7 suited on a deuce 5-9, bet 2.5. This is a good spot to bet 5.5. Okay. We have another deuce on the turn. And what do we do now? We check it. Donk betting is quite a better option here. Played 42% of the time. Checking is just 5% of the strategy. But we checked the villain bets, so we're gonna fold. Ace deuce suited on a 9 jack queen. We're checking. Betting 2.5 is better. We hit our ace on the turn. We're gonna bet 2.5 now. Checking is a more frequent play, a bit better as well. EV-wise, there's a 4 of spades on the river, and I think this is a donk bet. It is, yeah, awesome. We are called by a better ace, unfortunately. King 9 suited on a 5-8 queen, bet 2.5. Yeah, we'll unfold it. Excellent, we've played our 25 hands for the day. We can exit the session now and see our stats. Wow, this session has really been quite on point. Our aggression finally is getting closer to the GTOs. Our overall EV loss is just minus 18 BBs. And this is due to pretty much this one hand, Queen 9 suited, and this one Ace King off. And the rest were pretty good decision actually. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you stayed this long, please leave a comment with GTO. If you liked this video, please be sure to leave a thumbs up. Subscribe if you are not subscribed already. You can check out the GTO trainer if you want with the link in the description of this video. And if you're interested in learning poker, you can also check out the course that I've created for beginner players. The links are in the description of this video as well. So without further ado, just thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Do you want to learn how to play PLO? Are you a beginner player who's never played Omaha before? Do you want to learn how to crush casual players easily? If so, this course is perfect for you. It's a crash course on Pot Limit Omaha dedicated for beginner players. You will learn all the fundamentals of PLO. You will learn what hands to play, when to play them, and how to play them. You will learn the basic strategies that allow you to be a winning player at your home games or microstakes online. If you want to learn PLO quickly and easily, get this course now at gokupoker.com.